Welcome back to another episode of Blue Couch Therapy. It's your boy True, Betty at the Man. So the topic of today's discussion is going to be the rule of thirds, the rule of three, and how I am noticing things in my life that are happening for the third time. And I encourage you guys to take inventory and stock of your own life to see if there is anything that is happening for you. So guys, to me that I'm seeing that I'm living in the third round of my debt cycle. And I understand the power that is the three, because the three is all around us, okay? You could think about the three wise men, the Holy Trinity, all the threes. Everywhere is three. The rule of thirds in photography, it's always by the threes. So I understand now that I'm seeing the lesson in my life that I had to learn about discipline, about organization, about being on top of things, happening to me for the third time. I was talking to my brothers and my students, and I'm hearing stories about everybody experiencing the hardship. At this time, third time around, third time's the charm, guys, you know? So for me personally, I went into, I'm coming out of my second debt cycle, which would be the third time, you know? So I was up, down, now we're going back up to the highest point in which we've ever been. Because the funny thing about it is, even if you might notice these things, these stories in your life, it's like, although that it's an up and down, the highs are higher and the lows are lower. So I say this to say that I know for a fact that this third time, the high is going to be higher than I've ever seen, ever imagined, and ever fathomed in my life, guys. Well, it was Nipsey Hussle that said the money coming in so fast that a nigga can't spend the shit. So right now, as I'm entering my contraction stage, I'm exiting the contraction stage, I'm aware of these things. And I understand that there's levels that we need to learn at every part of the game. There's levels that we need to learn at every step along the way. So the funny thing is that when I entered my first debt cycle, that's when I had to learn about credit. And I learned about credit, and then I still ate it all once the time came. I didn't want to work, and COVID was another time, you know what I'm saying? So now that everything has come home to roost, everything the fruit has come to bear. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm paying off the things that I did years ago. It's coming into fruition now, or it's coming into my psyche now. So I say this to tell you guys that I'm changing it, and I know that I'm different now because I'm doing different things that I would have never have thought to do back then in my previous cycles. So for me, the notion or the understanding is that you have to slow down and you have to stay down to come up. Because guys, I'm patient. Now I'm patient. Now I'm way more patient than I used to be before. Because before I used to be so like, now I want it right now. I want everything literally right now. And that's what caused me to stumble, because it's like you try to run before you knew how to walk. Like, I was in this programming in my life for 30 plus years. And then I learned a little something. And then now I'm like to myself, okay, I'm ready to go. But it's like, chill, my boy. There's still things you have to learn. There's still lessons that you have to take with you along the way. But I also think that it's to me, I don't think of it as a big deal, because everything that I have been through is allowed me to learn so much so that I can share this knowledge and this wisdom with you guys. Every time that I feel as though that I take a step back, I learn so much. I learn so freaking much, and it helps me help you guys. Because now I'm able to tell my students, I was just with my friends yesterday, and I can help and telling them about credit and the way to run it up. If you want to know how to do certain things with your credit, you want to take hard inquiries off your credit report, you want to boost your credit score by becoming an authorized user, all those kinds of things I learned throughout this journey, throughout this ebb and flow period where things ebbed and things flowed up and down. Things went up and down, I never look at these things like it's just lessons that you have to learn. And some people are like, oh, I fumbled the bag and da-da-da, and they hate themselves now. Not me. This is all just lessons. I literally just learned my lesson. I'm learning my lessons over and over and over again. And the funny thing is that life will teach you the lessons, and then as soon as you get the lesson, then there's more lessons to learn now. So it'll keep slapping you in the face until you learn a lesson. Then when you learn it, there's a new lesson to learn. So I say all this to say, guys, this guy is like right on my behind. Holy cannoli. I say all this to say, guys, that it's like, check to see check to see the patterns in your life. If you're feeling as though that you're in an ebb and flow period, or if you're in a contraction period or an expansion period, depending on how, you know, things are going for you, see if you're, especially if you're in a downtrodden time at this time, if you're in a downtrodden moment, look at your life and see if there's things that are happening for the third time. See if there's things that are happening to you that have happened before, you've gotten out of it, and you've happened again, you got out of it, you know? So that's why I'm never worried, because the funny thing about it is that, like, even on the last time too, it's like, I got out, I got my own place. Guys, okay, let me tell you the story about what it is, and that's why I say, okay, the third time is a charm. So the first time I got my apartment, was living, I think it was like 2016. I moved out of my parents' crib. I got an apartment. I got a job. I was working security, mobile security. I was making bank, bro. I was making like $1,000 a week. I was working like a dog. I was literally working like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's funny, it'll come into play again. You guys will see. 7 days a week, and I was making good money, man. I was making the most money I ever did at the time. And then and then as soon as I left my parents' place, I signed the lease. And this is what I tell you guys, every time I sign the paperwork on the dotted line, shit gets fucked up. So I signed the lease, the lease. And then as soon as I signed the lease, I got into the apartment, and a nice ass apartment in Scarborough. And then like a month later, all the overtime pulled. They pulled the job. Like, I still had the job, but it was not making me nearly as much money as I was before. And the thing is about me is I wanted to be seen. I always wanted to be seen, bro. In my past life, I always wanted to be seen. And I wanted people to know, you know, I bought an old ass BMW X5 at the time. It was like 2016. The one that I had was like 2008, I think it was, or 2006, something like that. The old body style. It might even have been the 04 or something like that. Old Beamer, just so I could say that I was driving a BMW SUV. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be seen. And then, like, not even having enough money to maintain the vehicle, not even having enough money to drive around and go and do things, because everything was always up to the top, always living right at my means, you know, right at the top of my means, essentially, you know. So then that was that, and then that fell apart. And then now I went back to my parents' house. I went back to the parents' house, stayed in the basement for a few more years, and up until me and my brothers pretty much moved out. And then fast forward to the last year that just passed, same thing happened. I had left my partner at the time. I needed to find myself, do some soul searching, and I wanted to be out and about so badly. I wanted to be seen so badly. So I went out, I built a studio, I got another car, the car that I'm sitting in now, you know. I got all these things in an effort to, like, trying to be seen, to like look that, like, okay, things are working out, and they are, you know. But at the end of the day, and I was trading too. And this time around, like, every time I go through this cycle, I always learn something new. I always implement something new. So I was working my job, and then I was trading, and then I bought a car, and I got the studio, and then again, living at the top of your means. So, and then after that, and as soon as I signed the studio, as soon as I got into the position, then I pulled it. Lost the money in the trades. I did some emotional moves, and I lost about a bunch of money in the trading, like $4,000, something like that, in trading, basically, you know? Lessons learned, no big deal. And then the funny thing is, it's like, so like now I see myself back in the same situation that I was back then. But the funny thing about it is that I'm like, even though I'm deeper, even though I'm like in a different spot, or I should say in a deeper hole, so to speak, I feel great. And I feel as though that, like, I've done it once, I can do it again. I don't have no fear in my heart in order to know that I'm going to crush this goal. I'm going to crush this year. No matter what it takes, I know I'm going to continue to arise, and I'm going to continue to stand up on my own. So guys, I say this to say that, like, third time's the charm. Third time is a charm, because after the 2 times, I know now. Now I know, okay, the lesson that life needed to teach me was cool it. You need to chill. You need to stay down to come up. You need to be disciplined. You need to be organized. You need to make sure your body's in order, and you need to make sure you're in good physical fitness so that you can go about and hustle and take over the world. And then the funny thing is that now I'm adding more and more. So the last time, between the last time and the first time, I added trading and understanding the markets, studying the markets. Right now I'm doing my longs and I'm doing my shorts. Baby, I make money when the market go up, down, and I'm a liquidity provider. Talk to me. And now I'm also doing digital products, because before I always wanted to do music, I always wanted to do YouTube, but I was scared to show my face. I was scared to tell my story. I was scared that people are going to be like, oh, they're going to judge me, whoa. But then I'm like to myself, I don't care. Before, back then, when I wanted to be seen, but I didn't want to be perceived. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't want people to think that I was not at a position where, but now I don't care. I rid myself of completely of my ego, so I'm not in a point or at a place where I'm like, well, okay, depending on what people say, I might. Nah, man, I never forget how to do nothing, and I'll do whatever it takes to get to where I want to go. Period. So I think that it's really funny to. Oh, I just scratched my steering wheel with my fingernail. Did I? Yeah. That's funny. Oh no. I think that was. Sorry guys, I got distracted. But yeah, and the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that like you have to keep adding. So like not only did I learn trading between the last time and this time, and like now I'm doing digital products, I have books for sale, I have music for sale, I have merchandise, so like now to understand that I've gone into a position where I've never gone before, I know that I'm going to change. I know that I've changed. Because previously in my life, all I would think about is like putting my dreams on hold in order to like get money and be a wage slave. But I understand that now that that's not the key. That's not the way to make it boom. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about not fulfilling your obligations or not fulfilling your obligations. I just understand that now my calling is to speak. My calling is to teach. My calling is to show you guys the way. Show you guys my way, tell my story in the truest way possible, so that you guys can look at your own lives and you can see if there are things that are happening that you'll be able to take stock of, so that you can change your life for the better, shift your paradigm. I was just telling one of my students the other day that it's a radical change of mind that's going to be required of you in order to get to the position you want to be. I'm not here to preach to you guys. I'm not here to be any, holier than thou type beat. But I'm just here to tell you guys that like you can change your lives, because I did. Guys, man, if it was up to my old paradigm of thinking, I would not be here in front of you. I would be back in the warehouse. I would be working 2 jobs somewhere, doing something, and then I would have been like, okay, well, maybe in 2027, after I pay these debts, or after I do these things, or then I'll be able to go back and to make music, or go back and to make videos, always waiting for everything to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You just have to get started. You just have to get running. You just have to get going. My boy Am was just talking about you got to get busy. You got to get busy, man. So I think it's an incredible time. I'm actually super excited to see how this journey is going to unfold. And that's why I'm going live every day. That's why I'm recording every day. That's why I'm sharing with you guys my story every single day. Because it's like, for what it's worth, the Bible already tell me, Malachi chapter, I think it's a story in Malachi where it's like your blessings will be returned unto you, pressed down, shaken up, and runneth over. So I know for a fact that what I want is here. What I want is here. It's just a matter of waiting and doing what you have to do, letting your intuition guide you and telling you into what to do. Because like I said, guys, right now I'm living in the fruit of what I planted, I'm living the fruit of the seed that I planted a year ago. So now I know, okay, I'm planting new seeds right now. The kind of seeds that are going to grow into fruit that I've never had before, that I've never even imagined. The kind of freedom and the prosperity that I'll be able to share with the world once things materialize into the physical realm. So guys, I say all this to say I'm quite excited. I'm super hyped to see how my life is going to continue to unfold this year. In the creator year is 2025, the year of the creative. So I'm diving all in, guys. My first book, How to Get It, A Brief Guide to Getting in Tune with Your Inner Self, is available now. My first mixtape, This Is Me, Volume 99, is available now as well, too. You can find that on streaming services wherever you like to listen to music. And it's your boy, yo. I'm literally getting ready to go on tour as we speak. As I speak to you guys today, we're going to be doing our North American tour. This is me tour, where we're going to be talking about the books. We're going to be going around the country to see all my friends and family. My second book, Follow the Threads, is going to be available shortly, and probably by the time you watch this is going to be ready. I'm sure it will be, because it'll be past February, I'm sure, by the time you guys watch this. Currently it's January the 11th. You'll be watching this video sometime in February, and the second book is available now, Follow the Threads. Okay guys, so I love you lots. I say all this to say that don't ever be discouraged by the things of this world. Don't be discouraged by the trappings of this world, guys. Even me, I fell for these traps of consumerism and trying to live life like the Joneses. So no more, guys. You don't need all these things that they tell you to do, guys. I literally gave up my entire life so that I can live the way that I want to. Okay? So guys, until next time, it's your boy. I love you lots. Until next time, peace, peace, peace. I'm out of here.